Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Altitude. So we are back with another video. I'm talking about Jio's annual general meeting, and in the previous video I talked about the Jio Glass and how groundbreaking and how amazing it is and what cool features it brings on. So if you haven't watched that video, the link is right below the like button. So a few days back on 15th of July 2020, Mr. Mukesh Ambani actually announced on stage that Jio is partnering up with Google to make affordable smartphones which will run Android-based Jio's operating system and which will be 4G and 5G enabled. Now, before we get into all this details about the phone lineup and the affordable phone lineup from Jio, let's talk about the current mobile phone scenario right now. Now, the current mobile phone scenario, I'll break this down in two parts, that is hardware and software. Speaking about hardware, and we are extremely dominated with all these Chinese manufacturers, starting from Xiaomi, OnePlus, Oppo, Vivo, you know the drill, you know the names what I'm talking about. Now all these Chinese manufacturers actually give us affordable smartphones with good specifications. I have to say that these are actually good specifications. Now Qualcomm processor, good battery life, better camera sensors from Samsung, Sony, better camera lenses, and overall good design. And we can't actually deny how good the product is from all these Chinese manufacturers. Now talking about software, Google, which is a parent company of Android, actually handles everything about Android, and that means about updates too. Now Google announces Android update each year. Now this year in 2020 we are going to get Android update 11, that is Android 11. Now, if the Android update is announced this year, that is in 2020, then eventually we'll get all the Android 11 updates in 2021. Well, this happens because of custom skins or custom operating system all these manufacturers use. It's not about just Chinese manufacturers, but it's about every mobile phone manufacturers who use Android. And when this next Android update comes up, these mobile phone manufacturers actually take up time to develop their custom skins to run on the new update of Android. And this vicious cycle actually leads us for slower updates to our phone, or eventually no updates for our budget phone. Now the problem of budget phone is they are so cheap that all these mobile phone manufacturers actually tend to ignore the updates for all these phones. Well, that's what is happening with us all these years. We buy a budget smartphone for 8 to 10,000 rupees, we use it for a year and a half, and eventually we have to throw it off. But the life of the phone should last for at least 2 years or 3 years for an Android phone I'm talking about. So this is all what is going on right now in smartphone market. No early updates means we don't have that latest updated security patch or safety patch, and our phones could eventually spill out all our personal data. And we are also lacking behind all these new features, new apps that support the latest Android version. Now coming on to the partnership of Jio and Google. So affordable smartphone lineup, 5G enabled, and a custom made operating system which is based on Android. Now we all love smartphones which are starting from 8,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees. I mean, most of the smartphones are sold in this price bracket, and in this price bracket we try to get the best of the best features and the best of the best specifications, whether it is coming down from an half a lakh rupees flagship device. If Jio wants to create such a lineup of devices here in India at this day and age, they need to consider a few things here. First of all, good specifications. The phone needs to have great processor and a good hefty RAM on board to run the operation smoothly. Secondly, a good screen is a must in these days. And third, the battery life should also be good. The software experience could be taken care of now that Google is partnered up with this phone. And about the design, we should just give a wave off about the design, and above average design for all these phones could work here in India. Now if Jio could tick all these boxes, we have a winner here which can give a tough competition to all these Chinese manufacturers. Like I said, the software could be easily taken care of. Now working with Google means Now, Google charges a licensing fee to all the mobile phone manufacturers who give Android smartphone or who sell Android smartphone. Now, working partnership with Jio means they could easily waive off this licensing fee for providing Android on the Jio phones. Now that they have a partnership program, they could easily share profits with Jio selling all these phones, making the cost of the phone way more cheaper. That means we could get affordable smartphones which have faster Google updates, faster security patches or security updates, new features, and all that for a budget phone which actually get ignored for getting all the latest updates from Google. Talking about specifications, a processor is a major component of a smartphone. Everything runs over from the processor. Now, two companies, Intel and Qualcomm, the two major giants who make processors worldwide and which are famous for manufacturing processors worldwide, have actually invested their money in Jio. So if the Jio phone comes out, they will be using Intel or Qualcomm's processor, which will be more powerful, and Intel and Qualcomm could also waive off some of their money for providing all this processor, because at the end of the day they are also earning some money from the profit of selling all these Jio phones. What my expectations are, we get a lineup which starts from 10,000 rupees to go up to 25,000 rupees, which have all over Snapdragon processor, good screen, good cameras, and pure stock Android. Now, I know that we could not get a pure stock Android because that's all the fuss about, the custom made operating system which is based on Android. I'm not bashing them up straight away, even though there is no announcement of a proper smartphone from Jio, but you get the idea, right? A custom made operating system to run on this phone based on Android means everything will be wired up in Jio's way, which means we get all the apps starting from the Jio Mart, the Jio Pay, the Jio Money, and Jio Savan, Jio TV, everything will be pre-installed in this smartphone. And that's what the sacrifice we have to make for getting an affordable smartphone from Jio. Now, if you ask me why they will install all these applications right away straight out of the box for the affordable Jio smartphone. Now, here's the thing. For buying a new product, the companies have to convince them every time to buy a new product. So for say, if I buy a product in 2020, the companies have to again convince me to buy a product and spend some money in 2021. And eventually a customer is not going to do that. But in terms of services like the Jio Savan, the Jio Mart, or the Jio TV, these companies, the Jio, could earn a lot of money. Now see, they have to convince me to buy a service for only one single time, and when I just pay my money for a per month service, for example for Jio Savan, then I will get used to all this service, and eventually I'll have to give a constant pay of income to Jio. Now all these services will eventually generate a constant stream of income for Jio and all these companies. Now companies need to make profit, and this is one of their business model, to sell the smartphone for a cheaper price and eventually get back all the profits by selling or by providing services. Now after selling a product, that's your phone, these companies could get unlimited amount of profit depending upon how much money you spend on the services like Jio Mart, Jio Savan. But at the end of the day, we could get a device which is eventually designed, manufactured, assembled, and made in India after all, which in turn will give a lot of job opportunities to us fellow Indians. And if this formula works, it will create a good competition, a healthy competition with all these Chinese manufacturers here in India and internationally as well. Well, that's my vision and all my thoughts about the upcoming Jio phone. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And also let me know what you think about the new business model that Ambanis have come up with. I mean, selling us services, they could earn money for a longer period of time than selling us a product. I did a lot of research before making this video, and I learned quite new things about business, and I tried to put all this inside this video. So if you learned something from this video, feel free to share it with others. Let them know how Ambanis are taking or earning money from us. That's been it. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.